Hello, I am Archivist Asheron, and welcome to my study. And today, we are back once again to play some Asheron's Call. Uh, Yesterday, I was a little bit absent because the whole issue with the swelling and everything that I've been talking about the last few days kind of flared up really bad, and I was dying. So that wasn't good. But today it seems a lot better. It got better by the night of yesterday. So last night, yeah. Uh, and now I'm feeling quite a bit better. Hopefully it's on the mend, as it were. And we are here, back once again with our shiny sword, which is actually quite good. I mean, damage-wise, it's nothing too spectacular. It's almost even, yeah, it's just straight up worse than the Mace of the Explorer damage-wise. But it does have slashing piercing, which is quite interesting. Although I usually don't attack with low power or low enough power to warrant piercing to come out, but either way, we have it, and that's very nice. And the attack skill and melee defense skill is certainly unmatched by any other weapon we have. I think even the Might Queen's staff doesn't get that high. So, very good. And this is only the unupgraded version, so as we level up, this will only get better. So right now, basically what I'm doing is bludgeoning and slashing, piercing, one in each hand, especially because this is biting strike and this is crushing blow. So those together kind of do good things. I do hope this gets both of them at some point, though. It probably will, eventually throughout its various upgrades. Because, I mean, Biting Strike is nice, but having both of them is really what makes quest weapons so very good. So, we're pretty much just gonna do some leveling, because there are a few things that I need to do next. First of all, would be getting new armor, which the first set of armor that I would want to go for, at least quest armor wise, would probably be the Olthoi armor. But you need to be approximately double the level of the Olthoi armor in order to solo it. And I mean, the level 20 Olthoi armor exists, and I'm now almost level 40, but I still feel like we have a little ways to go before we can actually face that. And I might also need to. Well, it depends on if I'm wanting to pass down a set of armor to this character in order to get the new armor, or if I just want to go completely on my own. I'm not certain yet. But either way, we're going to need some more levels before that's possible. So, let's go and let's start with some Tuskers, I suppose. That'd probably be the easiest thing we can do. And once again, I very much like that I can shape the UI to whatever I want, because then on the on the UI for my stream, I can just kind of move everything around the UI. It's very efficient. Oh, and with Tuskers, should I be using this instead of this? I mean, maybe. Bludgeoning is not bad against Tuskers. Let's see what the stats are like on this when buffed. Pretty decent and almost equivalent to this. I mean, the upper end of the damage is pretty close, but the lower end is pretty far off. But it does have higher of these, which doesn't really matter because we already have this. Yeah, we'll go with fire. We'll come back to the bludgeoning when we're fighting the Olthoi. Although physical damage types are usually better to invest in than elemental damage types. Although since these almost have an equivalent amount of attack skill and melee defense, maybe I should just have both of them on. And they don't have any crit chance increase. So I'm not sure. But 2 T-Bree Fire Spears might be better against Tuskers. We'll see what the damage is like. Because yeah, this has a wide range. The sword has a bit lower of a range that it can attack in, and they seem rather equivalent now. Okay, and we also went ahead and got creature enchantment and life magic and mana conversion, which I have a lot of XP I need to spend. I should probably do that after this. But there is definitely there's definitely something to be said about getting all the magics onto a melee character. Because already you're going to be spending a lot of points on your melee skills. But to get all the magic skills as well, it's rather difficult and expensive skill point wise. Okay, we got the one tusk, so I guess let's head off to the next. So what to level up here? Well, these we should probably up to be higher than endurance, because technically strength and core are our main stats. Focus could probably be up a bit higher. Health is probably good. Stamina could be a little bit higher. Mana we don't need just yet. Okay, melee defense could probably be a bit higher as well. Just because that's very important. And magic defense. I'm not relying on the... Where am I going? I'm not relying on the defenses as much as I probably usually do, but... Yeah, let's switch those two. But it still doesn't mean that we want as much melee and magic defense as possible. Okay, second Tusker dungeon. And I put the sword in the main hand just to, you know, have it attack first. Because I think that having the one that has the high crit chance attack first would be best. Because then there's a good chance that it'll practically one-shot the enemy with a crit. Although this fire spear, no matter how much I like Tibri's fire spear, it is very hard to look at. Like, it's hard to see around my character when there's a bunch of fire being thrown in my face. It's fine once you stop and actually, you know, try to fight stuff, but just trying to run through a place, it makes it a bit difficult. Okay, we haven't really gotten any significant crits. Never mind, there was one right there. Alright, and these aren't too tough to kill. They're just kind of going down very quickly. And those crits sometimes are quite nice. But I am looking forward to upgrading this Sword of Lost Light. But it's gonna be a bit difficult, seeing as how you need to do part of the... What is it? Lady Airfall quest? Which I have had trouble with in the past, as we know. Okay, I'm not gonna be able to loot all these. Or I guess I could, but I would actually need to use, like, next unopened corpse button, and I'm too lazy for that, so we're just gonna leave. And these things don't really drop much other than, you know, the occasional essence to pick up anyways, and maybe some peas. But all in all, probably not too worth going through and actually sorting each and every one of their loot tables. So we'll just head to the next one. And that one wasn't any issue. I don't even think they could hit me really at all. So hopefully we can do the next two just as easily, and maybe even up to the level 60 ones. We'll see. I know on the Ulthoi side, when I was testing out the sword, I kind of saw how far I could get into the Ulthoi side, and I was quite struggling at the level 50 Ulthoi. So level 60 Tuskers might be a bit much for us. But we'll have to check it out and see what happens. That's really the only way you know what you can and cannot handle in this game, is just, you know, you try it, and if you die too many times, generally that means you can't handle it. But there's so many factors that play into it. It's not just, what level are you, like in other MMOs. It's, what level are you and what skills do you have and how much have you invested in each of those skills. Like someone might have an exceptional amount of melee defense and have no issue with higher level Ulthoi, and other people might have almost no melee defense and get obliterated by Ulthoi. So it's very hard to tell. Yeah, and these guys definitely take more hits, but they're not really being that big of an issue yet. Mainly because they can't hit me consistently. That extra melee defense we got is working wonders. When they do hit us, they do hit pretty hard. Now, I will probably want slightly better armor if I'm going in to fight with the level 20 Ulthoi armor area, because that place can be incredibly scary. Oh, Tusker head. That's not all that important, but kind of rare that it drops. Back on my first few characters, I used to collect all the heads of my enemies that would drop, and, you know, turn all those into masks and then hang them on the walls. I still have a whole collection of masks around the villa, I believe. It'd be kind of cool if every enemy type could drop their head, and you could just have like a whole trophy room that was every single enemy in the game's heads. And not only this is the Ulthoi side, uh, and not only like just the like, oh, this is an Ulthoi head, this is a Tusker head, but to also have like different colorations and armors would be kind of cool. And probably not all that difficult because they already have the model of the enemy, right? So they just need to kind of splice it so it's only the model of the head, and then put that onto a little head model that probably they already have, because I mean one Tusker head is going to look pretty much the same as the other ones aside from just the texture that they use. So I don't know. That would be cool though, if just literally any enemy could drop their head. But that probably would be a lot of bloat for the system. Like you'd be adding a new item in with every single new enemy you make, and that would probably get a bit tiresome. Let's heal up a little bit, because they are able to hit us a bit more. I'm not so sure about doing the level 60 Tuskers, but we'll give it a try. And let's see, what are the 60 Tusker done? Because isn't the first level 60 Tusker dungeon just like that one? Or is it the second one? Which direction do I go? It's this way, right? I forgot for a second. I was like, which way is the Tuskers? I couldn't tell looking at the little map thing because there's rooms overlaid above this that also have portals in them. So you can't really just tell by looking at it. So we should be in here next. It doesn't always let you in right away. They kind of spawn you too close to the portal to let you just go from one to the next. And this is the next one. Oh, and we haven't turned in any of the tusks yet, so if we are getting beaten up in here, we're kind of screwed. There's no easy way out. Luckily, there aren't dispel traps. But if we could get to the end, we can just sit in the corner and only have to fight one or two at a time. So then it's more of a question of stamina, which we have plenty of potions, I believe. Yeah, 13 should be plenty. Yeah, we definitely need some better armor. I mean, Ulthoi armor wouldn't help too much in here, because I think the bludgeoning resistance on Ulthoi armor isn't the best, but it's certainly better than what we have now. It does kind of suck that there's no lower level armor sets than Ulthoi armor that are really good. I'm sure there... Is there any, like, full armor sets that are lower level than Ulthoi armor? I don't think there is, actually. I think the level 20 and 40 Ulthoi armor are the lowest level, and then... Yeah, and then there's the Explorer armor, which is technically like level 80, right? It drops off level 80 enemies. Yeah, these aren't so bad. And in the next one, it's a pretty quick dungeon. Let's see, can I select you? You're the wrong one. Yes, okay. Now you guys should leave us alone mostly. We can evade them. We just kind of teleport out of here. There we are. You know, it does kind of suck that I always fall out of doing the Tusker Tusk dungeons on the higher level characters, because having those, you know, portal gems to just get out of there is very important. So we were just in the abode, so we need to go to the habitat. And we're definitely not trying the level 80 Tuskers. I mean, Tusker slaves aren't the most difficult, but they're still level 80. And if the level 60 ones are this difficult, I don't think I'll enjoy fighting the level 80 ones. Also, while we have a lot of health, having low armor kind of defeats the purpose of having a character that tanks through sheer stats rather than through defenses. Because we may have a lot of health, but we take a lot more damage than someone who would have a decent amount of armor, which is quite unfortunate. Okay. These guys keep teleporting, but that's fine. We can handle teleporting Tuskers, right? Except when they crit us for 40 damage. Ow. They keep doing it. Okay, I'm just waiting for one to drop the tusk, and then I'm grabbing that and skedaddling. If we can hit. Thank you. Man, 3 misses and then 2 crits in a row. That's very nice. And more misses. Let's drink some stamina. Maybe I should be attacking low so I can actually get unbalanced and blow on them whenever I do manage to land a hit. Although my dirty fighting isn't really that high, so if my weapon skill can't really hit these guys, the chance of actually landing a dirty fighting attack on them isn't great either. Ooh. Tusk. Hopefully the stuff out here isn't even higher level. Nope. Okay, we're not doing any more tusks, because that was the last one. So we should probably just go turn them in. And we weren't in any danger, so I could just lifestone back there, but it's fine. Let's see. 100 on each of these, approximately. I don't know what level of magic would be worth getting for the first time, because level 3 spells are pretty decent for this level, but they require about 150 skill in order to cast effectively. Let's see. We're going to Annex and then Untalonga. Is that what it is? Yeah. Go there. And we turn in all the tusks, which should be a decent amount of XP for this level. At least a few levels, I would hope. 1 level. Too busy. 2 levels. And 3 levels. Okay. Yeah, that was quite good. Okay, so now we put that on 1, that on 2. So 1 is our just getaway button, which will be very useful in the future. Let's increase these by 10. And I've already invested a lot more than I probably should have into healing. Get some dirty fighting. And oh, probably melee defense. We need as much of that as we can get, especially for the Ulthoy armor quest. Okay, now I suppose we'll do some Ulthoy pincers and then going back to doing just regular facility hub quests. And we should probably switch back to my Ulthoy slaying loadout. Oh, we need to get some mana stones. We have a great mana charge, but yeah, because this is almost out of mana. Let's just use that right now, because I mean, it's worth some money, but aside from that, it doesn't do a whole lot. Yeah, this setup is definitely more efficient. And we can just run to the end, of course. Just ignore all these guys. I wonder if there's somewhere where I can buy actually good mana stones. Because normally I just wait until I'm higher level and find the good mana stones off of high level enemies. But if I could just save up some money, which you get abundantly through leveling up, and could actually just buy like great mana stones or something. Is that even a thing? I know it's great mana charges. I don't know, major mana stones I think is the one of the higher level ones. But I don't know if they actually sell any better than the lesser. Because normally you go to one of those vendors and they just have like the really crappy ones like the minor mana stone and then the lesser mana stone, and then it just goes straight into mana charges after that. Which I guess is also, you know, something I could buy, but usually I only buy the mana charges for, you know, death items. If you get the massive mana charges, they're worth quite a lot. But I usually don't buy them for anything else, because it's usually not very worthwhile to, you know, go out of your way to buy something that you're just going to use and get rid of later. And none of these guys are dropping mana stones in general. Not even the really crappy ones. Oh, there's one. It's a pretty decent one for this level. Especially because this is the lowest level Ulthoi guys we've fought, so... Yeah, it wasn't a lot. Is there anything else? Yeah, these rings. And the mana stone died. Great. They never last very long. Even the lesser ones that have a very low chance of breaking. I guess it's because you need to use them a lot more. Like, at the higher levels, sure, the stones have like a 50 to 60% chance of breaking, but you only need to use them like once or twice in order to fully recharge all your mana. So, not really a problem. But you know, I do still say that I feel like there should be a mana, like a special mana stone, that can pull the mana out of your mana bar and use that to power your items. Just so even if you're not picking up any other items, you could just use your own mana to siphon it into your gear. I feel like that could be a little overpowered, but really in the end, recharging your gear with mana is just kind of a limiting chore that makes it so that, you know, high spell, you know, like spell heavy gear is a bit limited by the amount of mana you can siphon into it. So by making something that takes your mana, actually I guess I could code something like that. Although that would be a little difficult because it would need to, you'd need to use it, and then it would need to kind of sense how much mana you have and then take that mana. Yeah, we're just taking any items that have decent mana right now and just save them all up for when we get some more mana stones. I do have one in here. It's not a great one, but we'll use it once we get some more. Ooh, if only we could find an orb that's actually got a lot of spells on it, because those orbs usually have really high mana on them. Like, even in the early game, you can find some orbs that have over 1,000 mana. If you get lucky enough with, you know, the drops and all that. This Mace of the Explorer is quite good, though. I've never used it before, because, you know, it's a heavy weapon, but I never knew how, you know, just how good it was. This thing does a lot of damage. Plus, if it ever crits, it pretty much one-shots any Ulthoi. Because it's got Crushing Blow on it, so I think that's the one that increases the amount of damage their crits do by like 4 times. You know, I keep jumping to speed up the looting process, but it also kind of drains your stamina if you don't do it right. And let's just kill all these guys. Just to see if they have mana stones for us to use. Well, that's a mana stone. Not a good one. Okay. I always forget which button is the correct button for, like, next unopened corpse. Okay. Now back to the facility hub. Hopefully this time, now that we put a lot more XP into things, I won't have any trouble doing the level 50 Ulthoi pincer. And honestly, if I can do the level 60 Ulthoi pincers without too much trouble, then that's probably a good sign that we could probably do the level 20 Ulthoi armor quest. I mean, you still need to kill the matrons and the queens, which can be incredibly difficult, but all in all, you know, most of the dungeon is just filled with from nymphs up to soldiers, I believe. Okay, let's get some of that stamina back before going in here. But these will give us some good money in the form of trade notes. So that'll be nice. You know, I do like that a lot of these early quests that I do all have like different uses to them. That isn't just XP. Like with the Tusker Tusks, you do it to get the instant portal gems. The Ulthoi pincers you do in order to get some early money stores. And then the cavernous Ulthoi Chasm dungeon you do in order to get the Dispel gems as early as possible and start building up a supply of those. Yeah, that's probably enough stamina. I have some potions left still. I do need to go restock on those. Alright, yeah, these guys aren't hitting as much as they were last time. Oh, and we just one-shot him. And one-shot him. Okay. Game is too easy. Certainly having something like this will help against the matrons. Because sometimes, if you just can't do enough damage, you end up in a situation where the matrons will out heal your damage. And you don't want that. It's usually not a good thing. So being able to get some really big crits in there every so often would be very beneficial. Because that kind of helps you outweigh the regeneration that they have. I do wonder if for something like both Crushing Blow and Biting Strike, or weapons that have either of those, if it's best to do like fast attacks, because there's like differences in theory here. Like if you do a lot of attacks, that means that there's more attacks that could possibly crit, right? So like if you do 10 attacks instead of 5 in a short period of time, then you might get double the amount of crits because you proportionally did double the number of attacks. But on top of that, there's also the chance that when the crits are based on your uh, like base attack damage. So even if you get more crits, each of those crits isn't going to do nearly as much damage. So is it better to have the larger number multiplied but less often, or the smaller number multiplied in a crit but very often? I'm not so sure about it, because there's an amount of math there that I do not care to calculate out. Especially because probability has never really been my strong suit. I mean, probability things always mess me up. Like that one, I don't remember what it is exactly. Let's see. Yeah. So there was a thing where, like, if there are three doors and one of them has a prize down it and the other two are empty, and you pick one at random, then you have a 1 in 3 chance, or a 33% chance to have the reward be in that door, because it's just a 1 in 3. But then if the host takes away one of the doors that doesn't have the prize behind it, then you're left with two doors. Now, in my head, because then there's the one door that you chose and one other door. In my head, that just brings it down to a 50-50. Nothing's changed. Literally, it's just you picked one and he took away one of the wrong answers. So the chance that you picked the right one is 50%, right? Because you either picked the one that didn't have the prize or the one that does. But apparently, in like statistics and probability, you're supposed to switch to the other door. Because, now it's narrowed down to two doors, and you're supposed to switch to the other one to have a higher chance of winning. But I'm like, how does that work? Because, I mean, it kind of makes sense on a level, because when you first picked, you had a 33% chance of being right. So by switching your answer, you're now using a 50% chance of being right, and thus, there's just a higher chance that you'll be right guessing the other door. But at the same time, it doesn't make sense, because whichever door you choose, it doesn't matter. Because you still are in a 50-50 at the end. Like, it's still either the door you picked or it's not. So, I've never understood probability too well. It's not my strong suit whatsoever. Let's see, that's a pretty bad mana stone, so we'll just leave it. But yeah, it's kind of mind-boggling the way that that works, because apparently it goes from like a 33% chance if you're just choosing 1 out of 3 up to like a 66% chance if you switch to that other door when given the chance. So it's really weird. I don't know how that works. But probability, even like in coding, there is a lot of probability stuff in coding. Like, if you set up something to be, let's just say, like 10% chance things, that doesn't add up to a 100% chance. Like, mathematically you'd think it would, but it doesn't, because 10% chances, you could fail all of them. And so that means that it's not guaranteed even if you have 10 of them, because probabilities. So in the end, even if you have like 9-10% chances and then one event that happens no matter what, like if no other event is called, this event happens, that event at the end will happen far more frequently than any of the others, like all the others combined. Sometimes it depends on the luck of the player, of course, but sometimes it's weird, because you're sitting there looking at it like 9-10% chances should come up much more frequently than this last one that only happens if no other chance has been taken. And yet that one usually comes up most frequently, and it's really bizarre. It's kind of difficult to get. Oh great, and things are going off again. Okay, story time. This actually happened earlier today with me. I don't even know if that was picked up on the mic, But our smoke alarm is so freaking sensitive. This thing will go off anytime you're cooking anything. Like, you just turn on the freaking toaster oven and the thing is like, alert, everyone's gonna die, run for your lives. It is incredibly annoying. I hate the thing. It is the absolute worst smoke detector I've ever seen. Especially because at this point it's like it's not even. Why did you pull? Interesting. This guy pulled from way down there before this guy pulled from this corridor here. That's very bizarre. Anyways, it's more of a toast detector than a smoke detector at this point. I mean, whenever I hear it go off, my first thought isn't, oh no, the house is burning down. It's, who the heck is cooking toast downstairs, you know? It's not very efficient at what it does at all. So yeah, they really need to work on not having smoke detectors be so overly sensitive, because it's, you know, it's the smoke detector that cried toast. You know, that's that age old story. Everyone knows it. So yeah, the only way to avoid it is we have a fan downstairs. Let's start with the biggest managed stone. But we have a fan downstairs that we turn on to blow in the direction of the the smoke detector, and it will, for some reason, the airflow being in the room kind of makes it so that none of the burnt anything particles, ow, even hit the smoke detector, and so it can never really go off because the wind is too high, which is another glaring issue. Like, if an actual fire is happening and we just have a slight breeze coming through, is the smoke detector just not going to go off? I don't know. But yeah, so very annoying. And I don't remember what I was talking about before. I think probability. I think I was still talking about how confusing probability is. So yeah, pretty confusing stuff. I'm not a fan of probability. I mean, I like looking at videos talking about probability because they kind of hurt my brain. They make me think for a bit, which, you know, I'm not used to doing. So, you know, obviously. But yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, I watch the video and I'm sitting there like, how the heck does that work? Why would that be a thing? It always confuses me. Of course, I've never even taken a probability class. I know there's like, what is the class just called, like statistics or something? What is it called? It's something like that. And it's like the class where you learn a bunch of probability and stuff. I've never taken one of those classes, so maybe I'm just unfamiliar with the nuances of how that works, but you'd think it would be a pretty self-explanatory thing. Like, I know how 50/50s work. I know how 33% chances work, and, you know, 25%, all those regular chances that you get, all the way down to the freaking 2% failure chance in Asheron's call to imbue an item, and then you still manage to mess it up. Or I guess not imbue. I think that was to dye something, because an imbue only has, at most, I think, a 38% chance of succeeding. But anyways, yeah, so probability, it escapes me. I don't understand. All right, time for the big room, which I probably should have, you know, prepared more for this. Like, pull them out one at a time or something, but I didn't do that, so we're just gonna deal with it. So far, nothing too catastrophic. Did any of these drop the pincer by any chance? Probably not, because... Ooh, they actually did. I was gonna say, that would be too lucky for me for the game to allow that to happen, but by some miracle, that worked out. Okay. Now, who's ready to attempt a soldier pincer? Because that went so well, let's try it again. Let's push our luck a bit. Honestly, I was gonna say, in regards to, the spell stuff that I was talking about earlier, like what level of spells should I get first? I do have like a large fortune in, like pyreal and gold peas sitting in my chest back at the house. So I could just, you know, dip into those funds a bit. All right, let's see how bad fighting the soldiers are. All right, that was a fluke. It's fine. Well, I think we just got lucky crits, but overall that didn't go poorly. And the soldier dungeon isn't all that long, luckily. Although if the soldiers cause any issue at all for us, that's a bad sign, because we'll have to be fighting these things alongside a matron. You gotta clear out all the riffraff and then deal with the matron most likely. So probably we need to wait until we can absolutely like just shrug off anything these guys do before going in for something like the Ulthoi armor quest. Because yeah, dealing with the matron's gonna be bad enough. If I have to be worrying constantly about all these damage numbers coming in, we're not gonna be in a good position. But we can't wait too long. We're already level 42. How about better armor? Could I just pick up some better armor? I mean, it won't give me my strength cell 5, though, which is the only way we're getting buffs. Which actually, I guess we could just get our own buffs, and that would make us significantly stronger, because we could buff our own armor. Stuff such as that. Maybe find armor with higher base armor levels, so when I buff it... Well, but I can't buff armor yet, because I don't yet have item enchantment. I went for creature enchantment first, which... I mean, there's a lot more buffs that are useful from creature enchantment than item enchantment early on. But, especially as a lot of armor buffs itself. But certainly, it would have been nice. But I don't think we're going to get to 8 skill credits before having to go do that. I mean, maybe. Depends on how frequently they give us skill credits at this point. But I think we're kind of running a bit dry on skill credits. Because they give those to you abundantly in the early game, but as soon as you start leveling up a bit, those really start running out. And we could always try I don't want to try to do on Ralarea again. That quest is an absolute nightmare. And I remember at one point, I did try to set like a consistent spawn for the guy. Uh, it didn't work. I don't know why. Like for a little bit, the consistent spawn was there, but I think there was some kind of update or something. And it made it so that it just kind of deleted the permanent spawn of him that I had placed. Because yeah, that quest is an absolute headache. Like it's something that I need to do on pretty much every character, and yet it can take anywhere from, you could find him without even looking for him, just randomly run across him in the landscape, or you could run around for multiple days straight and find nothing. Like, the guy is elusive. Alright, so soldiers weren't so bad. Honestly, I think I had an easier time with the soldiers than I did with the workers, which is a little bit backwards. But that's fine. Now, if we can do the soldiers, though, we can probably do the legionnaires as well. Is it legionnaires or legionary? I think legionaries. Because, yeah, they're not too much more difficult. We are going to need to get our stats back, though. And I'm too lazy to go back into town to get more mana or stamina potions, so we're just going to sit on the ground for a bit and let our stamina come back before we head out. But, there is something to be said about the pure melee playstyle, because if I didn't have any buffs and any spell ability at all, I could get so overpowered. Like without any magics whatsoever. If I just, let my pride go away and just actually set up something like a buff bot for myself, then I could just, like, imagine if I just got a character up to like level 180 or 200 and then had them on my second account and make it so that they can buff with like 3 hour level 8 spells, then any other character I have would never need to be able to buff themselves again. Anytime I need buffs, we would just go back to the house, log in the other account, buff us up, and then whammo, we're done. Like, it would be so easy. So, maybe that would be the best option. Because, yeah, like, if I didn't have to have the magics, I could have both magic and melee defense specialized. I could have recklessness, sneak attack, specialized deception, so you get the sneak attacks from the front. So yeah, I might work on that and then just go to Temple of Forgetfulness and get rid of the magic skills on all my characters, because that would be so good. It would take a lot of, you know, a lot of working on it though, because in order to get a single character without macroing up to the level that they can handle casting level 8 spells and having multiple augmentation gems, I mean, because you need, what is it? It's either 3 or 5. I think it's 5. Because I think each aug gem increases the duration of your spells by 20%, and I think it can go up to 100%. So you would need 5 aug gems, a ton of unassigned experience to get all those levels, which I think are either 1 or 2 billion XP each upgrade. So that's between 5 and 10 billion XP overall to get all 5 levels of it. So yeah, it would be pretty intense, I gotta say. So let's go over here. I'm gonna hide in this little tunnel and try to finish off any enemies that followed us here before we get to the, main attraction. This layout of Ulthoy Dungeon is the one that I have the most trauma from, because it's always like either the Legionary dungeon. I mean, it's usually not the Legionary dungeon. Usually this one's not. Never mind. I was gonna say, usually this one's not too much of an issue, and then we fail to heal ourselves again. We've done that so much. Am I not specialized? I swear, on every other character I've ever played in my life, I don't have any issue whatsoever healing. It's only this character that I've ever had that problem. Maybe that's because I started with no focus. That might have been it. Maybe I usually start with focus, and that changes things a bit. But on this character, I was like, no, who needs focus anyways? They'll keep everything except for the essences. Get a little bit of money there. We don't have a helmet now because we are too broke to get death items yet. Which is really the most unfortunate part of being low level, is not having any kind of death items or anything you can fall back on. I mean, I don't even have any old armor I could go and grab. Maybe I have some set of armor in the chest, like the house chest I could go get. Hmm. And maybe I need to not be so stubborn when it comes to having each individual character be independent. Like, I have this whole store of items for a reason, and really just living with Path Warden armor up through level 40 isn't the best option. I mean, you can't get any other real good set of armor aside from if you check every single piece of armor you come across on enemies. You could possibly, get a better set than the Path Warden armor through that. But I've always hated how it is going through looting every single enemy, checking every single piece of armor, because 90% of it in the early game is just utter garbage. So yeah, I don't know if I have anything in here that I can actually use helmet-wise, but we can check. We do have these, but these are greater. That requires level 80. Do I have any other set of Volthoy armor in here? I should. We could use the Mutilator helm. Okay. Or maybe this one. No, this one's just better. It doesn't even have a requirement on it. So yeah, replacement helm gotten. Yeah, and that's the head collection that I got. There we go. We're gonna look a little ridiculous, but that's fine. Replacement helm acquired. Because yeah, you can't go in there without a helm. Like, I ended up dying once in the Ulthoi Worker dungeon when I was first trying to do that, because I was quite a bit lower level than I am now at that point. And it was painful because I also lost my helmet that time, and I ended up going back in there without a helmet to try to get it back. And that was a problem. I mean, I survived, I did it, but anytime they hit my head, it had 0 armor, and I took like double damage in that area. So, not good. Let me in. Is it lagging? Have I lost connection to the server? Which is weird, seeing as how it's my own server. Oh yeah, no, I'm moving slow. That is a problem. Which is weird because it still says it popped up the ping to the server is only 20 milliseconds. And yet we're completely bugging out here. So let's log out and log back in. That usually fixes it. If it lets you log out, that is. Sometimes it puts you, okay, there we go. Sometimes it puts you like into that purgatory where it doesn't let you log out. Okay, but we're back. That's fine. The lag should be gone now. So it just goes to show that can happen. That's not like exactly a disconnect from the server. That can just happen to anyone at any time. Alright, we might actually want to kill some of these while there's only 1 or 2 of them at a time. Ow. Right, and with Vitae, they're just going to be 10 times worse. I mean, I could barely beat them as it was. Now they hit me nearly every time. But if I kill a few of them, I should get Vitae back. And we have a bunch of armor on our head now, so that works in our favor. Let's see, we could also go for Covenant armor. Base melee defense 300. I don't think we have that. No, we don't even have buffed melee defense 300. Ooh. It's a good orb. Mana-wise, at least. But, yeah, that is kind of the issue with Covenant armor. I love the stuff, but it has way too high of restrictions on it sometimes. Like, I know I'm a little low level for the loot that you get in here, but ow. Can you please stop? No, it cannot. We're gonna use this entire healing kit before we even get our Vitae gone. Missile defense, of course. Well, I guess that's just for activation. Do we have base magic defense 145? Even so, this is kind of sucky Covenant armor. I mean, look at that armor level. That's almost as bad as the Pathwarden armor itself. See, now that's how you do it. But missile defense, which we do not have. And I doubt that untrained missile defense is above 205. Nope. Not anywhere close. Uh yeah, we've definitely bitten off a bit more than we can chew at this point. Though that's really the only way I know of to see exactly how far your character can go is by going in there and just, if you die, you know you've kind of reached your limit. You know, you can't really quest past that if it kills you. And then you have to do this whole process of getting your stuff back. Can you please hit him? And they can hit me literally every of the time. Yeah, and the Adept Healing Kit just does not do enough healing. They literally out-damage. There it goes. I don't know why. Was that like a crit heal? Can you do crit heal? Is that a thing? Maybe. Definitely seemed like it was a crit heal. Because all the other ones were absolutely as wimpy as can be. So yeah, Adept Healing Kit. It's good for out-of-combat health regen. Not really good for in-combat. Because it just does not heal enough. These things literally out-damage the healing of it. But we probably should have been fighting our way in from the start. Not only so we could get an idea of how tough the enemies are in the first place. Because yeah, going in without really having a good grasp on how difficult the enemies are was a bad idea. I kind of assumed they'd be as difficult as the soldiers, which would have been pretty easy to beat. Because the soldiers were not hard at all. But I should know better that just because they're the same level doesn't mean they're the same difficulty. Especially because Legionnaires used to be level 70, right? You know, back in the day before they kind of evened out all the enemy levels. They had some enemies of a very weird level, and the Legionaries used to be a level 70 mob, but they kind of evened it out to put these at a level 60 as well. I don't know why they did that, though. It was kind of nice seeing all the, like, different level enemies around. That's a lot of mana. So I'm probably too much in the habit of checking for mana now, because I kind of have a lot of items, and I don't even have enough mana stones to use all of them. And I don't even need all of it. I mean, we got all our mana back a little bit ago. Finesse weapons. We don't need finesse weapons. Because for once, I'm not playing a finesse weapons character. Even though I still believe that, you know, if they had just given finesse weapons as cool a weapons as heavy weapons has, I feel like finesse would still be the best. Specifically just because it has such a good synergy, you know? Synergizing between the, like, melee defense and melee attack. Ooh, one-shotted. You know, if you could, Mace of the Explorer, if you could just one-shot them, like, every time, I would appreciate that. Okay. We're almost out of stamina potions. Can one of you drop a stamina potion? Is that, something that you could do for me? Hmm. Okay, we have enough stamina for one more fight. Hopefully there's only one more fight left. It looks like it's just this guy. Of course, before the pincer room, which luckily the pincer room has a slanted corridor for us to do. Okay, well, let's sit down for a minute. They should take a while to respawn in here, so hopefully that buys us some time. And we can get our stamina back before the fight, because we only have the one potion left, I think. Yeah. And we're going to need that throughout the fight, probably, to deal with the many, many enemies in the pincer room. But yeah, definitely not going to try the next pincer up. Especially because the next pincer up is the Eviscerator pincer. And those guys, I feel like the Eviscerators have always been a bit harder than just a level 80 mob. Like, those things are vicious. Same with the Mutilators. Like, between the Warriors and the Mutilators, there isn't that big of a level difference, but the strength difference between them is absolutely insane. Okay, let's see if we can just pull a few of these guys back here. We'll just kill them as few as we can get at a time until they're all dead. Or until one of them drops the pincer, whichever one comes first. Okay, one or two of you, if you would, please move. You're kind of inching. They're inching over. They're almost there. Come on. You got this. Just just walk into, yeah, just walk into there. No, no. Why are you flying? Just come here. Thank you. Thank you. And you brought your friend. That's not very nice of you. See, that's what you get. When you bring friends and try to gang up on people, you get one shot by the Mace of the Explorer. It just happens. It's the natural consequence. Okay, no pincer. Let's try to get a couple more. Okay, just got one this time. That's good. Very safe. But yeah, definitely if we can barely even kill legionaries effectively, we're nowhere near being able to kill the Ulthoi brood matrons. Just kill it. Just kill it. It's literally at like 0 health. I always hate that when you're down to the last hit. It's at like almost no health, and then your person just keeps just keeps getting evaded. And it's like, come on, just it's so close. Just kill it, please. Ooh, stamina potion. I need that right now. Let me just drink that. Heal up with the adept healing kit a bit. I'm really only using the adept healing kit, not only for situations where I can't heal, like I'm too low health and I can't heal with the treated one, but also just in between fights so I don't use the uses on the treated one. Because normally I have like an infinite supply of those things, but base 225. I don't think we have that. Nowhere near it. Yeah, still a bit unrealistic there, Covenant armor. Okay, we can try to pull these guys a bit further out. There we go. Because there's only a few left, so we can fight them all. Oh. And that guy's dead. Okay. There's that. And where was the other guy we just killed? Pretty sure it wasn't any of these. Because we've already seen those. Whatever. They don't. We already have the pincer, so we can just get the heck out of here. Uh, let's just lifestone and hope that we make it out. Cause yeah, that happens. But they have an aggro. Okay, we're good. That's why I jumped and went into attack stance, just in case something aggroes and attacks me. We'll have some kind of defense against them. Okay. That's a lot of pincers. So let's start consolidating things into this. We'll just throw all these items we picked up for mana into random mana stones. Kind of pile them at the top of the inventory for now. And then we have these two, which I think are both, yeah, both are regular. Ooh, and this one. Okay, so there's this that has high mana. This has decent mana. Where's that orb? Orb, very good. I want the highest mana things. You get out, you go in. The highest mana things to be absorbed by the most efficient mana stones. There we go. So yeah, that will give us mana for the foreseeable future. Let's just throw them all in this pack. And I think it's this way. Yeah. Okay. Go to Red Spire. This is not a very efficient way to stack all these. But it's also really hard to tell with Pyreals what is and is not a full stack. Which I don't like. That's always been kind of an issue. I wish that almost, I know that it probably wouldn't be possible, but I almost wish that the picture would change. Kind of like these have a little 50 by the corner. If a full, like a Pyreal stack was full, it would say like full down in the corner or something. Just so it's easier to keep those organized. Because, you know, you could have one Pyreal and it would look exactly the same as an absolutely full stack of Pyreals. Okay, we got a lot of good stuff here. Throw all of this into our trade note bag. Throw all of these into our healing kit bag. Which I think is this one. I'll check after I've already put all of them in. Yes, it is. Okay. Then we got all this stuff, which this I usually go for, but we have the life-giving amulet, and we probably want to keep that. Unless, actually, I was thinking, because Alyssa's favor does the same thing, right? Yeah, it also has life giver, which is what this has. What this has. So usually we get the Amulet of Life Giving for Life Giver, but we could go do the Alyssa's Favor quest, and that would also give us Life Giver on a bracelet, and then we could use this to get both acid and piercing protection instead of having it on two separate pieces that both have worse protections. So that's probably what we should do. Alyssa's Favor is a bit of a long quest, but it's probably possible. Let's see. Alyssa's Favor quest. Considered in any of the three starter towns. And I don't think it matters. I mean, it changes slightly what you do, but it doesn't really change the reward at all. So I don't know, I guess let's do the Holtberg one. And this shouldn't be a problem, right? Let's see. Yeah, because it says restriction 20 plus, suggestion 30 plus, and we are well above 30 plus and have a Sword of Lost Light. So what could go wrong, really? aside from not having any buffs, and additionally, having pretty crappy armor except for the helmet that we stole from my own house. Let's see, where do we start this? Talk to Sir Rylanan in the Advocate Tower near Holtberg. That's this thing, right? That's that. Is that the Advocate Tower? Is that what that's called? Who knows? It doesn't tell us on the map. But I assume the only place that would be called a Advocate Tower would be the only. Oh, it's here. Is this a tower? That doesn't look like a tower, but close enough. So talk to you, and then go to the house at those locations, or at those coordinates. Where is that? That's over this way, isn't it? Reform Bandit's house. Or is that the next step? No, yeah. Talk to the Reform Bandit outside the house. So yeah, the Reform Bandit's house is indeed where we're going. Because yeah, if we do this, we could either, there's two Alyssa's Favor variants that are good for us. Either the strength or the coordinate. Was it strength or coordination? I think so. Because yeah, red was strength, I think yellow was coordination, blue was focus, and white was armor. So we don't really need the blue or the white. I mean, the blue could be useful. The white might be kind of useful. All of them have Life Giver on them, so we don't have to worry about that. But if we get the red, we could have minor strength. Or if we get the yellow, it was either minor coordination or minor endurance. Either one would be very good for us. So red or yellow is what we're hoping for, but any of them would be acceptable. They should have added something where you can enhance the Alyssa's Favor. I think that would be cool. Because Alyssa's Favor it's one of those classic quests. Let's see, introduced in Flesh and Blood, which was, 2002. One of the classic quests. And yet, you kind of out-level it very quickly. And I'm not a fan of that. I like there to be, some use to it after getting to mid game. So if you even had like a series of quests that would upgrade it to medium or like moderate spells, and then another quest that upgrades it to major, and then to epic, and then maybe even to legendary in the late game, that would be kind of cool. But also, we need to kill hollow minions here, which is not going to be fun. Hollow minions are probably one of the scariest enemy types, because usually they ignore your protection spells. Not that I really have bludgeoning protection spells, but Okay, and these guys aren't really all that high level. So why are they level 23? These must be special hollow minions that were made specifically for this quest, because, as I said, there was a big thing that kind of made all of the levels more uniform. And a level 23 enemy would not have slipped past that unless it was very, quest specific. Okay, cryptic note. Oh yeah, and stamina potions. We should probably go back to town and buy some of those. Oh, hello, good sir. Reformed Bandit has an extremely guilty look on his face. He looks as though he might run for the hills. Look, behind you. Is that the white bunny? Teleports away. Honestly, it would be terrifying if Pookie just showed up in the middle of this quest and one-shots you. It'd be funny, but kind of terrifying. I wonder what that spell is. Shurov is the beginning of all of the teleportation spells, but I wonder if that's like Portal Recall or back to Lifestone or something. I'm not sure. Shopkeeper, do you happen to sell stamina potions? I don't know why you would, but no, it doesn't look like it. I mean, I don't even really know what category that would be under. Drinks, maybe? No, that would just be under food. I don't know. But there's a healer back in town that sells us stamina potions, so that's fine. So now we need to return the cryptic letter back to Sir Rylanan, and then they'll send us to a temple. Kill level 30, hollow minion boss. Okay, so the highest enemy in that dungeon, it seems, would be a level 30 hollow minion, which won't really be that big of an issue. And then we loot the chest in the middle of the room, get the glass spherule, and return it to the guy. And then we need to go and take the letter to the next town to continue the quest. Right. It wouldn't be so easy as just to do it in one town. You got to do it each town in sequence. Which is kind of concerning that each town has like its own issues going on. Let's go to the healer first, which I think is this house. No, that's the food house. It must be this one down here. So now I was thinking, I was looking through the AC viewer a bit more, and it seems as though it might be possible to find the exact look of these houses, the exact what was it? I don't remember the word, but kind of the setup of them. And if I could find that, then I could make a weenie that has the exact look and hitbox of these buildings. So if I can figure that out, then I'd be able to make my own towns and stuff, and that would be very good. Though it might be a bit buggy, seeing as how none of the buildings would actually exist, you know? In a strict sense, they would just be like an enemy that has the same look and feel as a building. Okay. Asgur Temple? Or Azugur Temple? Where is that? Is that nearby? Well, I don't see it. Let's just get the coordinates. Because it doesn't on the wiki say anything about like the route there. So, okay, it's 5 clicks this way. Okay, it's up there. It seems like it would be about equidistant, like running down to here to go there. Seems to be about the same distance as just running there. So we're just gonna run straight to it. So what did he say? Up to the north. This is northwest that we're going. Just a banderling hideout, harmless, really. Yeah, so it must have been really tough to find things, unless the note gives more exact coordinates, and I just didn't read the note. Can you read the note? Let me look. Yeah, you can. The perfect place to conduct our part of the plan, a Zuger temple. Delicious irony that it would be here under their very noses. We are close to refining the required amount of substance. Bide your time among the town's unwitting inhabitants until you are called to transport the cargo. Okay, yeah, it doesn't tell us at all the exact coordinates of the place. So yeah, you just apparently to find this place on your own, you just had to go off what this guy said down here, which was to the north. And I mean, sure, it is technically more north than the town is, but we're going exactly northwest to get there. Like if you just were heading north looking for this, you'd never find it. Like you would end up by like you'd end up at Collier before you end up actually finding this. So I don't know. Actually, there's nothing directly north. I mean, there's these two, but you'd still kind of miss them if you went straight north, it looks like. You'd find the coastline before you really run directly into anything. So yeah, still kind of mystifying. I rely on the wiki quite a lot in my playing of the game, but there were people that played this game before the wiki existed, especially Alyssa's Favor quest. I mean, this this thing started or was implemented in 2002 in the first place. So I'm pretty sure either there wasn't a wiki at that point or people didn't use it nearly as much back then. So it's kind of crazy cuz I couldn't imagine finding that place on my own. Like how would you even go about doing that? Also, I'm pretty sure the Banderlings didn't make this place, right? Because this place is a little bit too complex to actually be, like, built by Banderlings, right? At least that's what I would think. And no, I do not know where I'm going. I'm just kind of winging it. And I hear hollow minions in the background, so that sounds like a good sign, right? And that goes up. We usually want to go down. Well, this is a dead end. Maybe we need to go into the little space to drop down into over here. Yeah, there's a door there. Oh, hi. Yeah, I thought there'd be a lot more tunnels than that. But no, it just led us straight to the hollow minion layer. That is a lot shorter than I thought it would be. And nothing that I'm hitting these guys with does much damage. Maybe fire would do better, because they are like scarecrow type things. Obviously a bit flammable looking. Wait, is that a level... Are you level 80? You look like you're level 80. Why is there a level 80 Banderling in here? When the boss is a level 30 hollow minion. They're not hollows. But they're hollow minions. I don't even know what that means exactly. Like, hollow minion? What is... I mean, I guess they are minions. And since they don't... Since they're like scarecrows, they don't have a soul of their own, so they're hollow. I don't know. But yeah, a little, intense. That they, threw a level 80 Banderling at me. I mean, luckily it was kind of a wimp, but... Well, a wimp compared to level 80 enemies. Compared to anything else, that is pretty intense still. And this is only the first leg of the quest. Just hit him. Okay, there we go. And that's level 31, so he's got the item we need. Is there a teleport out here? I don't think there is. Let's just get out of here. Nothing seems to be able to walk into here. At least it hasn't yet, so we're just going to teleport out without any cares in the world. Okay, so we got the key. Oh wait, we need to get the glass spheroid. Spheroid? I forget what it's called. Is it sphere roll? Yeah, it's sphere roll. What the heck is a spheral? Okay, so we need to go back. We haven't gone through any portals, but we don't have item enchantment. And we never got the portal of... Thing of portal recall. Is the thing even recallable? Cannot recall. Okay, so even if we could, it doesn't really matter. I suppose we gotta go back. Because I just got the heck out of there after killing the boss, and then I was like, wait, we got a key. A key is not the item we went here for. I was just kind of on autopilot, like, kill the boss, get the item, get out. It kind of threw a curveball having that level 80 Vanderling on us. Kind of freaked me out a bit. Cause yeah, that is a few levels higher than I am comfortable with at this juncture. Well, let's fulfill these with mana. Get them thrown into our mana pack. Very good. Put these kind of just the bottom of the inventory so they're not in our way. Same with you. Okay. You know, the one good thing of having strength be one of your main stats is you never have to worry about burden. Like, ever. Also, how long has it been since I upped run? A long time, evidently. I was just thinking, like, I don't remember putting points into run recently. Let's up quickness as well, just because. And up endurance by, I wanted 10, but I accidentally hit 1. That's fine. We'll just, yeah. We'll get as much health and endurance as we can possibly afford. Probably get some of this too, because these are our actual main stats. Even though I kind of act like endurance is my main stat, but it kind of isn't supposed to be. But, you know, endurance does a lot. You wouldn't really expect it, but like natural resistances, that's I believe all endurance, and other such. I mean, just kind of behind the scenes bonuses is all endurance. You know, on the surface level, you're like, oh yeah, it gives you health, it gives you stamina. You might even know that it affects the resistances, but there's a lot of other stuff that it affects. Which I guess kind of makes sense because it's not one of those stats that you really think about all that much. And it doesn't do very much aside from health and stamina and I think what weapon tinkering or armor tinkering. It doesn't raise very much to increase endurance. But yeah, it's secretly one of the best. I mean, it's kind of like how quickness increases the quickness of your weapon attacks. It's like nobody really talks about it, but it's true. Okay, we're just gonna use the slow getaway because I don't think we're in too much danger here. And I don't want to start wasting my Aphes portal gems because we're gonna need those for many other situations we're gonna get ourselves into. Okay, but we just had to run in and grab, so that wasn't all that bad. A bit time consuming, but just a short jog, you know? Okay, then we return this to the guy in Holtberg, and then he'll give us a letter to go to Shaoxi. Holtberg. I also think that they give Golem hearts as well. So that's nice. So is this the hardest one out of them? Because the next one it says that you just fight swamp rats. And then the one after that, room filled with hollow minions, level 30 hollow minion boss. I don't know. This Why are you walking? I I just saw that out of the corner of my eye and it kind of freaked me out for a second because I didn't remember that, you know, NPC actually patrols. Most enemies don't. He just throws the letter after me. Like, take this. And he very slowly gives me all the wood hearts. Very nice. This is a good quest to get, golem hearts. And I don't know why you would be doing that monstrosity of a quest with the level 80 Banderling before doing the Dagger of Tukola, but in theory, it's a good way to get your wood heart for Dagger of Tukola quest if you're on a server that still requires that. Because apparently that was taken out. How many uses does this have left? 3. I'll need to keep that in mind. So who am I talking to? In the Advocate Tower near Urak. Okay, so they're all going to be in the big spiky buildings. I believe there was one of those somewhat just outside the bounds of the town, right? No, there's this tower here. But where's the Advocate Tower? Hmm. Aha. I found it. Who are you? Wait. Who the heck is this? Okay. Goodbye. He's just like, gentle is the breeze that passes through these trees. Please excuse the ramblings of an old fool. And he just like listens to the wind. Is like, what are you talking about? I've never seen that man before in my life. Here, stop shivering. Take my note. Okay. So this one hopefully will be pretty easy. And we need to go to the farmhouse, which is approximately northeast. Advocate Ruins. I don't see it on here. Let's just put in the coordinates because I'm lazy. I thought it might just be easy to look at the coordinates and kind of estimate where it is, but I might have estimated wrong. Nope, it's southeast. I had it a bit backwards. That's a bit further away than I thought it would be. So yeah, we go to the farmhouse, and then we use the trap door in front of the fireplace, apparently, which is pretty nice. Okay, now this is actually pretty good directions because they say that they live a little ways past the south outpost. So from that you can know exactly where the south outpost is. Also, there's a typo because this is the Shoshi Southeast Training Academy. It's supposed to be the Southeast Shoshi Outpost, but it says Southest, Southast. Yes. So that's interesting. The map has a typo. I don't know why I even noticed that, but you know what? It's fine. I don't even think the map or the people who made the map are like developing it anymore, so probably not all that, you know, useful to try to correct its typos. Oh, hey Ash. How's the new character going? It's going well. We're trying to do the Alyssa's Favor quest right now, so I can replace this necklace by having another thing that gives me Life Giver, and then replace it with this, which gives me the good acid and piercing protection, so that hopefully we'll be strong enough to go and do Ulthoi armor at some point. You know, very much one thing leading to another, and another, and so on. Okay, hello. You. Why are you called a farmer? Do you even have a farm around here anywhere? No. Where's your farm, my good man? You're literally just out in the middle of nowhere in a big fancy house. Why is that? Okay, I'm not gonna question it. We're just gonna go through the trapdoor. Stay in the front of the shop. The heat from the fire is very strong. So he's telling you not to go near the fireplace, essentially. But we're not gonna listen to him because we don't like him. Then we have to use the candle. Okay, that's cool. I want like 7 of those for my house in real life. You know, and if you just have every fireplace be a secret door, at a certain point, people, if they like find the first one, they'll be all like, oh, well, the second one can't possibly be also a trapdoor. And then it is. You just have like a dozen of those in a row, and nobody will ever expect it because why would they? You know? Because at a certain point, they would think you'd have to be stupid to put more in a row than were already there. I mean, I guess it's kind of like in Dark Souls 1 with the Great Hollow, where you have the first trap, the first illusory wall behind the chest. Or no, there's the first illusory wall and then a chest, and most people would stop there. And then there's another illusory wall past the chest, and then another one past that. So it's kind of like that. Let's see. Shoshi up this way. Then find that tower again, because I have no idea where it is. It's like having a cave behind a waterfall. You just still gotta check. It's true. It's like it's like the very much spoken rule of playing games or having waterfalls anywhere really. You gotta check behind it. Even if you don't think anything will be there, you have to check behind the waterfall. Okay, so then we just give. Okay, so the note I think is just lore. I think we need to give the uniform to the guy here. And I missed the opening, didn't I? It was like right there, wasn't it? It was indeed. I went around for no reason. I thought it would be on the side that the other tower was on, but it is not. Okay, and he gives us his stuff. And then Yurak, which actually we can just lifestone back to Yurak. So we need to find the Advocate Tower there, which I think I know where it is. Then we need to go to the Stranger in Town and talk to him. Direct you to Darkened Halls. Well, isn't that fun? Because, yeah, it's just like right up this way. Yeah, there it is. You know, these are cool buildings. I kind of wish they did more with these. Because as far as I know, this is one of the only quests that's in here. Like, you have this giant, very stand out type building, but then it's just you got a little portal, which, to be fair, I don't know where the portal goes exactly, so that might be something. And then you have the one special guard, and then, like, nothing else. There's, like, you could put some other NPCs in here, maybe some on the roof. Have more to this whole quest line than just these 3 NPCs and then nothing else. But who knows? Which actually you could have if someone did, say me maybe, implemented a way to upgrade the Alyssa's Favor items, then that would actually be kind of useful. Let's see. He lives east past Luke's house. So that's, well, east. Wasn't Luke is south though, right? Right? Stranger Town, yeah. That's literally south. Unless, yeah, no. I was like, unless this map isn't oriented north to the top, but no, it is literally southwest. Why did she say he lives to the east? East. this this is not east game. Please. Literally, you would never find this. You would be running off into the distance. I mean, to be fair, they do say past Aluk's house, which is this house, and everyone knows that because you do that first collect 8 items quest at his house. So there is that, but they say east, and that would lead you out towards Neftet. Like imagine you're just a level 20 group of noobs trying to do Alyssa's favor, and you're just like, okay, east. And you end up running into the city of Neftet and getting obliterated by level 200 armoradillos. That'd be horrible. Hello, stranger in town. Greetings, friend, greetings. Welcome to my humble home. The hurly-burly of Mare Lassel proved too much for me, so I've decided to move here and call Iraq home. Blend in, make some friends among the peaceful townfolk. In fact, I've made a good friend over in the darkened halls. He's recently moved here too. Why don't you pay him a visit as well? I'm sure he'd be happy to meet you. Darkened halls, huh? Is that anywhere near here? Like at all? I'm not even sure. Where is that? Oh, Darkened Halls is here. So the Darkened Halls is to the east. But just the guy isn't. I don't know. Maybe they got the directions mixed up. They're just like, oh yes, the east is where the Darkened Halls is, but then they place him way down here. Who's to say? And we just need to run all the way back there. That's fine. It would be cool if they had more houses scattered around out here. I mean, you have this entire area that's kind of blocked in by cliffs, and you could make that kind of the lower level area and just have multiple houses dotted throughout here. Because I know that there are some houses, like his house, but there's a lot of real estate around here that just is empty land. There's so much you could do. I swear, if the game had like stayed in development for another few decades, I feel like they might finally fill up all the land that they actually implemented. The game is just so huge that there's just vast tracts of land. Like you see in between all of this, there's just giant spaces. Like it would take you probably like 20 minutes to cover this amount of land just by running at any level except like super high level where you've maxed out run, you know? And yet there's just nothing significant in this entire portion. There's like housing developments and a couple, minor things like a skeleton tent, but all in all, it's like they could have so much out there and they don't. If development had just gone on forever. You must complete a quest to interact with the portal. Do I need to talk to the person again? The dude literally directed me to go here. I thought that would be the obvious next step. Okay, but I guess now that we've talked to him, we talk to the person again? Let's see. Yeah, the wiki says you must speak to the person again before entering the portal. But luckily they put them right next to each other so we can just run down the hill, go back to the tower, and get her permission to go in the dungeon. But I was even thinking, have you guys ever seen a map of Dareth, like, or a map of the world? I believe it's Arborian or something? Arborian? The world that Dareth is a part of. Because this looks like a very large tract of land. You know, this looks like a huge map, which it kind of is. But in comparison to the full map of Dareth, or the full, this is the map of Dareth, but the full map of the entire world that Dareth is on, you'll notice that Dareth isn't a continent. Dareth is an island. Literally, this whole thing is just a large island. I mean, to be fair, it's a pretty large island. You know, it's probably the size of a small country, you know, but it's still an island compared to the absolute gargantuan continents that are on here. So, like, the scale of the game itself is already much bigger than a lot of games have, but the scale of the lore world is immense. And I'm pretty sure the world that everyone came from is either even bigger or at least this size again. Oh, there's lurkers in here. This place is going to be kind of scary. So where am I going? There's just kind of a drop off here. I guess we should go down here. Let's read what it has to say. Travel through the dark and all so you reach a room. Okay, so I guess it's kind of linear. Probably. I guess down would probably be the best option, right? We just jump to the bottom. Maybe through there. I mean, it has blue candles. Oh, okay, we still made it. I thought I got stuck on that one little edge of the wall and was gonna be stuck there. So this looks like it doesn't this look like it heads back up? Kind of does. But yeah, these lurkers cast spells, and we don't want to deal with that. Can't open or close the door this way. What do you mean? Oh, this is just a skulker. This isn't even a lurker. Okay. I found it. I'm a genius. Because, yeah, I was thinking once I have access to those, you know, world building tools, first of all, I could make, you know, just something completely different. But can you imagine if we get the world building tools up and running for this game and somebody makes, like, the entire other continents? Like, that would be such a huge upgrade, like, huge just expansion to the game. It would be absolutely immense. I don't even know if the game would be able to handle that kind of upgrade because all of the other continents are like at least 10 to maybe 20 times the size of Dareth. And to fill those up with any amount of content would just be a Herculean task for sure. Okay. So we have this. Okay, we just need to hand her the husk, and then that's that for this step of the quest. Unconscious body. Yeah. Well, rip these guys. It's kind of their fault, though. Okay. So now we need to turn this into the person here. Then we need to go back to Holtberg and talk to the original guard again. And then they'll flag us to use the underground tunnel portal that I was just talking about. And then we have to get out of the dungeon that sends us into. Huh. Who knows? I'll read it as I go. First, we need to give this to you. Then we gotta go back to Holtberg and give them this letter. Go through here. Here's some nice golem hearts, though. Not that I need them. I should maybe also increase the value of the name assigns, because I believe at some point in the past, those things were like super good, which is why there's such a complex system to actually get the most out of them. Because you can either turn them in when they're closed and they give almost nothing, or you can painstakingly level up your lockpicking skill, get the carving tool, carve out these different golem hearts, and then use those keys to open them, and then they only give like slightly more XP. So, yeah. Can I go in here? Not yet. There we go. Destroyed Holtberg portal, of course. Skeleton warrior, huh? So I think we just need to escape here, right? Let's see. Direct you to Fort Witcher and flag you to use the underground passage, which is really just Witcher dungeon. The guard will give you a copy of the key. Travel through the dungeon until you reach the surface portal. Keep going up until you reach a door. Okay. And then it says the drop from the surface portal is very hot, with lots of hollow minions ready to pounce you. We'll have to be careful about that one. But I don't think that'll be too much of an issue. Hey. That wasn't too hard. You literally just go up the one ramp and then continue on. Okay, are you locked? Nope. Just go right through the surface portal. I see what they mean. Except none of these are hollow enemies. Are you a hollow minion? Nope. You're dead. Okay. What do I do here? Go to the door of the house and open it with the key. Now what? Use the trapdoor in the house. Trapdoor, huh? I don't see a trap. Hey, look, a trapdoor. Alright. Oh, no, wait. I think I've made a miscalculation. I recognize this dungeon. And I remember this dungeon has simulacrum in it. Very tough simulacrum. Well, let's hope this goes well for me. Because it probably won't. Okay, thank you for killing that thing quickly. Okay, the simulacrums, they're a little tough. They're a little tanky. I mean, we did crit the guy, but he actually tanked a crit from the bludgeoning, and we crit this guy again. Yeah, they can actually tank crits from the bludgeoning weapon, which is scary. I mean, things aren't supposed to do that. And I remember dying in here with my brother last time we tried this quest, because it was just too many simulacrum. And none of our weapon damage types are particularly good against them. I don't even know what is particularly good against simulacrum. Maybe lightning? I mean, I can try a different weapon. See if a different damage type is better. Try acid. Doesn't seem to be particularly better. And then how's about fire? You guys like fire? Yeah, fire seemed to do decent. Yeah, fire's working. Fire does not work against hollow minions, though. Surprisingly, I kind of thought fire would be their weakness, just because, you know, scarecrows. But cold? Oh, is cold good against the simulacrums? Oh. The one damage type I don't really have. I don't have electric and I don't have cold. I used to have the ice Tachi, but we kind of out-leveled that. Why would cold be... And I guess cold might, like, shrink the human husk. Oh, cold on the hollows? Okay, that makes even less sense. Why do the hollow minions die to cold? Because, yeah, I could see with the simulacrums, maybe the cold would, like, shrink the human husk that they're wearing. And then that would cause issues for them. But with the hollow minions, it's like they are a scarecrow type thing. Why do they take extra damage from cold? It doesn't really seem to have any rhyme or reason to me, but... You know, it's fine, probably. I suppose there aren't enough enemies in the game that are weak to cold, so... Having that diversified a bit is probably good. Give cold a bit more of a use. Alright, but these guys aren't much of a threat, luckily. Keep grabbing our mana stones. Freezes the straw. Sure, sure. Yeah, we'll go with that. It makes a lot of sense, you know? Now that you say it out loud, it sounds, you know, like a perfectly natural reason. So yeah, fire definitely, it worked pretty decently against the simulacrums, not so well against the hollow minions, sadly. Wow, and these piercing guys are the hardest. I don't know why. They seem to have the highest hit rate out of any of them. Oh, and that's the hollow minion. We did not need to fight him. Just kill something, please. Thank you. Take out the Pokeboys. Luckily, we have a lot of health. Oh, I thought he died. I don't know why I thought he died. I think I just saw the little lightning coming off his body and thought that, you know, was his death animation, but it was not. So yeah, there's a lot of these guys in this dungeon, I seem to remember. We're just gonna chug down some stamina elixirs. Thank you. And do we have any other... No. We don't seem to have any of the other lower level healing kits. Which is, you know, good because I was kind of just using it to save the treated ones. And now we have a lot of the treated ones, so... Probably don't need to go out of our way to get any more of those. These things are really terrifying in how they, like, move. I do not like it. They're kind of just terrifying in general, like, even just gameplay-wise. Like, being able to get around a certain amount of your protections is just kind of terrifying. Ooh, moderate mana stone. They always drop good mana stones, though. I'm not sure why, but I appreciate it. Okay, at least it's not spear guy. Because, yeah, you see the sword guy, he's barely ever hitting me. But the spear one, they hit almost every time. I don't know why. It's kind of bizarre. Because you'd think each of the weapons would have a similar, you know, strength to them. But evidently not. Get around the corner here in case that guy's got a ranged weapon, which I think he did. Oh, he's got the mace, which seems to also be pretty good. The sword is just weaker. Remember the bug with the hollow minions? So they would always attack one character no matter who else was in the same location, because that was you. Wait, so like every hollow minion in the dungeon was just coming after you specifically and nobody else? Or is it just that when they aggroed on you, they'd never unaggro? Because that would make sense. Because, you know, behind the scenes, there is like there are certain attack profiles of who the enemies will attack first, and it can be like highest damage or highest level or something like that. And the hollow minions might just have a very specific certain type of enemy that they attack at highest priority, and you might have just fit the bill perfectly. It didn't get fixed for ages, really. I mean, luckily the hollow minions aren't that bad, but you know, having no melee defense would certainly suck, especially as a mage who doesn't, you know, who might not have like the most armor, but you know, because if they're getting through all of your life protections and you don't have good armor behind that, you might be in trouble. But not the sword. Select him. Thank you. Yeah, I need to remember that I have tab set to closest enemy. So, like, I could kill this guy and just... I mean, there it kind of just automatically selected them anyways, but you know what I mean. I could just press tab and it'll automatically select the next enemy to kill. Oh no, it's a spear guy. Really, the sword guys I prefer, because they can never hit me for some reason. Okay, then we're gonna drink some more of these, because we got more simulacrum to kill. But I think this is the last room, right? Hello? Okay, thank you. That's a few of them. Yep, back in the tunnel. Oh, that's not helping. They just burst right into here. Okay, let's try to use the corner to kind of bottleneck them. Once again, they survive a crit from the bludgeoning weapon, and that is terrifying. Like, anything that can survive a crit from that is something I do not want to be fighting. I mean, you saw I did like 199 damage on a crit. That's a lot of damage to just tank and keep fighting. Are they respawning? They're respawning. That's a problem. That is a load of problems. Why must they respawn almost faster than I can kill them? And why do you have to have a mace? It's like one of the worst ones. Okay, but yeah, the hollow minions aren't a threat. Neither is the sword guy. They just take stamina, which we do not have infinite of. Can you hit him, please? Thank you. Okay, let's heal and then chug some potions. Then we're just gonna leave those guys alone and kill all the simulacrum, which actually we don't even need to kill you because you have the sword. You're not really gonna be any problem, but we'll do it anyway. But we need to get in there and do whatever we need to do quickly before they all respawn. What are we even here to do? We need to open something, or is there something off of one of these guys? You. I found you. Okay. Let's get back to here. See if we can't block off some of you guys. It's none of you. There is a special hollow minion I saw called like Danith something or other. I think that's who we need to kill. Yeah, Dranith Maniket. I really need to get some cooking so I can just use the infinite, you know, rations, essentially. Because restocking on potions is a, you know, expensive and time-consuming process. Okay, luckily these guys have swords. Not as threatening. Hit the guy. Thank you. Okay. This is the guy we need right here. Let's just go straight for him. Ignore all the wimps. Yes, the mace crit finished him off. Are those special pants? No, those are regular pants. Okay. Let's depart from this plane of existence in a way that is not my death. But I still don't see this as enough of a, you know, kind of panic-inducing situation as to require the Aphis Lassel portal gem. Okay, well, we got a note. We need to return to the guard, so return to the Holtberg guard, I assume. Huh. Now let's hope after all of this we get the correct variant of the Alyssa's favor. Because if they don't give us the proper one, I'm going to be upset. Why am I going to this one? I need the Holtberg one. I just autopiloted because I was in Iraq and I was like, I know where the guy is. That's just because my, you know, it's because my life stone's here. It doesn't exactly make it the right place. Okay, Holtberg, this way, and then up the hill. Man, I'm gonna need to clear out my bags. I mean, it's half full with golem hearts, random notes, pyreals, and these things. Alright, guy, here, have a note. I don't even know what it says, I didn't read it. So this was all a plot to kill our queen's son through us, her own guards. Interesting. Dang it, we got the white one. I mean, it's decent. I mean, minor armor is probably good, but... And we did just get it for the life giver. You're already wearing jewelry on both. Oh, is this a ring, not a bracelet? There we go. Yeah, so we really were just doing it to get the life giver, but I would have liked to have the strength. Too low. 150. I can probably do that. Eventually. Sad. We're gonna need to do some more quests until we can get... before we can wield this thing. But that's fine. I think that we're gonna end that off there, because that was a long quest. And... yeah. So... we're gonna end that off there. Next time, we're gonna get a few more levels, doing probably facility hub quests, and then we're gonna be able to wield this, and then we're gonna be in a good spot to be able to go maybe get Ulthi armor. But thank you. I'm just gonna call you Brisbane. Brisbane? I think it's Brisbane is how you pronounce it. Uh, Hello, thank you for the follow, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me go to the ending screen and all that. There we go. Okay, well, see you guys next time. Goodbye.